Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of My Perspective Podcast with your boy, Big Hawk, aka Aaron Hawkins. Before we get started, you know the routine, man. Please subscribe to the channel, like, share, and comment as well. Trying to get the platform to grow, get these numbers up so we can take this thing to the next level. So if y'all like the content, please subscribe, please share. I'm trying to get the channel to grow as fast as possible. Man, we coming to you today. Um, I shut down for my 10-hour break today. I'm in Lambsburg, Virginia, y'all. Um, we right around, if anybody familiar with interstates and highways, around Fancy Gap. Uh, so, Lambsburg, Virginia, that's where I'll be at for my 10-hour break today. But today, man, we're going to jump on a topic that is low-key, is really, like I say, my perspective podcast is just based on my perspective, what I've been through, what I've discovered in my life, and what I've experienced in my life. So take what I say with a grain of salt, but even in that, I hope I'm able to help some people. But today's topic, we're going to talk about trauma, man. We're going to talk about trauma and the underlying causes, and the underlying, and what trauma causes in relationships. I think, personally, trauma is probably the number one cause of unsuccessful relationships. That's my personal opinion. Like I say, man, this is I'm speaking from my heart, speaking from my point of view, what I've seen, what I've experienced in my life. So I don't have no data. I ain't no doctor. I ain't no therapist. I'm just an old nigga trying to help some people based on my life experiences. That's it. So, if you want to fact check me, you can, but I'm not saying nothing I'm saying is absolute truth. It is my perspective. That's it. But in my opinion, in my 49 years of living, and the ups and downs that I've been through in relationships, and trying to understand why I fail so much in relationships, I've come, I ain't gonna say to the conclusion, but man, in my experiences, I believe the number one cause of failed relationships is trauma. We go through a lot as humans, from kids, from babies, on up to adults. There's never a shortage of heartache, disappointment, obstacles, challenges, difficulties that we face on a daily basis. But some of these heartaches, pains, and challenges we face, it changes and shapes our lives forever. And that trauma, for a lot of us, has shaped our lives and shaped our worldview based on the things we've been through. And in relationships, you don't realize how much your past affects your future and your present. A lot of us got underlying issues that we're not even aware of. We got mama issues, we got daddy issues, we have abandonment issues that all stem from childhood. Some could stem from adulthood, but most of that stuff stems from childhood. And it affects you in your dating life, and it affects your relationship when you become an adult. Just because you turn 18, 21, 25, that does not make you mature. That does not make you an adult. That just makes you of legal age to buy tobacco, to buy alcohol, and pay bills, pretty much. And just because you a man, fellas, just because you a male, that doesn't make you a man. Same for you women. Just because you're a woman, just because you're a female, that don't make you a woman. Man, what makes us a man It's what the adversity we overcome and how it shaped us for the better. How your maturity level, um, how responsible are you? These are the things that make you a man. Just because you was born with a penis, that just make you a male. Just because you was born with a vagina, that just makes you a female. That doesn't make you man. That doesn't make you woman. And trauma is so critical uh, to the shaping of our lives. Now, you can fact check me on this if you want to. Uh, our thought, our mindset, our worldview, our character is shaped by the time we're 8 years old. I learned this from a certified psychologist and therapist. Your worldview, your character, and how you see the world is shaped by the time you're 8 years old. And that blew my mind. You're still a kid, you're still a baby. But how you see the world for the rest of your life is already fully developed by the time you're 8 years old. So think about this. You have sexual predators out there who prey on the weak and prey on the vulnerable. And they take advantage of the weak, and they take advantage of the vulnerable and the disadvantaged and the disenfranchised people who are less fortunate. And they take advantage of them for whatever reason. They could be don't have money. They could mama abandon them. And they take them in, and then they train them and shape them and mold them through that sick lifestyle of molestation and homosexuality and whatever, and perversion. If you are gay or what have you, that's okay. If you're an adult practicing homosexuality, that's your choice, that's your preference. But when you force that shit on an innocent child, man, that's sick. That's sick, that's evil, and that's fucking demonic. That's my opinion. I don't care what you think. And most people lives turn out in these ways a lot of times through molestation at a young age. A lot of women I've dated and that I have conversations with over my years of living who are happen to be like really promiscuous, high sex drive, highly sexual people. It comes from molestation. Somebody older than them, when they were younger, took advantage of them and then manipulated their mind to keep it on the hush. And as a result, that trauma, they tend to turn to what they hate. Same with guys. If you see guys who are like hyper masculine, super macho ass dudes, don't take no shit from nobody, just mad for no goddamn reason all the time, ready to pop off just like that, man, 9 times out of 10, they've been violated as a kid. And they're so ashamed of that shit, they don't want nobody to know this shit. So this is the guard they put up. This is the facade that they carry around. Because they don't want nobody to know they've been violated. Brother, it ain't your fault. It ain't your fault somebody took advantage of you. Sister, it's not your fault somebody took advantage of you. That trauma can be dealt with through therapy. It can be dealt with through therapy. It's a tough process because you have to, you got to put your pride to the side, and you have to be extremely vulnerable. And that's one thing most adults don't like to be as vulnerable. Nobody don't want to just tear all the layers off and get to the core of who they really are. Man, you naked at that point. Nobody wants to feel naked. I know I don't. Like I told you in our first episode, I love love. I love the idea of love. But I hate what it takes to be in love. And that's vulnerable. You have to be extremely vulnerable to find true love and happiness. That's a dangerous place to be. Because you don't know if the person feel like you. You don't know if you and your partner are on the same page or not. That's a chance you got to take to find true love. And that shit sucks. Sometimes we hit it. Sometimes we make it. Sometimes we hit a home run. But a lot of times we don't. And that builds up a callous. That builds up a resentment. That builds up a wall. And we won't let nobody in. When you get hurt and mistreated because you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you don't want to feel that way no more. So guess what? Now you tough. Now you got this tough exterior. You won't let nobody in. But this trauma is plaguing everybody. I mean, everybody has some trauma that they either know about or they're not aware of, and it's plaguing their lives, particularly in their relationships. And it's unfortunate. But hopefully, man, we can discover what's going on within us and we can get the help we need. I'm an advocate of therapy. I'm in therapy right now. Me and my wife going through marriage counseling right now. And after we finish marriage counseling, I'm going to get back to my individual counseling because that shit is important. It's important. We need to be grounded and level-headed, man, at all times. And all the time, you can't do it on your own. We don't have the skills it takes to do it on our own all the time. If you're a person who self-evaluates and self-reflects, you are in better shape than most. But people who don't take the time to look within themselves and see where they fucking up at, those are dangerous people. They're dangerous to themselves and to the people around them who they love and who love them. That's why therapy is so important. A real qualified upper echelon therapist, it's not a person who's pointing a finger at you. It's a person who knows how to have an intellectual, engaging conversation, who asks the right questions, the right probing questions, to allow you to discover what's going on within yourself by yourself. The therapist aids only in helping you to discover your problems on your own through the right conversation, suggestions, and tips. They don't tell you what to do. They give you advice and tips on things to try. Or if they ask the right question, probing questions to jog your memory, to stir up your mind, to get your juices to flow, your wheels to turning, so you can discover your problems on your own. And that's a good therapist. Every therapist ain't that good. But you need to find you somebody who can help you discover your problems and give you the tools and tips that you need to fix these problems. Because your relationship depends on it. There's nothing worse than meeting the person of your dreams only to discover they so damaged that they ain't no good to themselves or you either. There's nothing worse than that. You find a person you feel like she's the one, he's the one, only to discover, man, they got abandonment issues. They got trauma so bad that they don't trust nobody. They got trust issues. They've been molested as children. They've been abandoned as kids. They've been abandoned as adults. I got my own trauma I've been through. I'm gonna share a portion of it today, and it's just, when I tell you it's unfortunate, it's unfortunate. But guess what? Man, life cold sometimes. One thing about life don't give a damn about nothing and nobody. Life gonna keep life, and life gonna keep going with or without your ass. So it's up to us as individuals to roll with it or get rolled over by it. Them the only two choices you got. Those are the only two choices that you have. Man, life gonna keep lifing, man. Life ain't gonna stop because you hurt, because you sad, because something happened to you. It's up to you as the individual to pick yourself up and figure out what's wrong and get the help you need so you can keep pushing at a productive rate and still be a productive citizen in society. And when it comes to relationships, think about it, man. Let's talk about submission, for example. If a woman has been misled all her life by a mama, by a daddy, in every relationship she's been in before she met you, and you one of those old school guys who believe in that, submission. not in a dictating fashion, but just in a feminine way. You know, a woman who, you know, that virtuous woman the Bible talks about. But she don't know what that look like because she been dogged and mistreated all her life. So all she know is when she put her trust in somebody and try to be submissive, they dog around and take advantage of her. Now she fucking fed up because that abuse and mistreatment she gotten all her life, that's hard to overcome. Same with guys. Same with guys. I know guys, shit, they're good dudes, but they got underlying trauma. Mother may have mistreated them as a child, told them some mean shit as a kid. Took their money, never gave it back. Just always finessed them as a child, but because that's their mama, they just keep going. They think this is normal, but then when they discover it's not normal, now they angry at the world. When they think all women like their mama, but because they got those mommy issues and they've never seen nothing positive, or they very rarely see anything positive from a woman because of the trauma their mama caused them, it's hard for them to trust. It's hard for them to trust because the woman they love the most treated them the worst. It's hard to deal with individuals like this. But you know how we do it. We get in relationships, we start dating one another, and we always send our representative on our behalf. We always send our representative on our behalf. The real person don't come into play until that contract has been signed. We are officially girlfriend and boyfriend. We are officially engaged or what have you. Then you take the representative and you tell them, good job, I can take it from here. Then the real you comes into play. And now your spouse, your significant other's like, I don't know this person. Who is this person? I don't know this person. Trauma. That pain that's embedded so deep inside that you think that's the way of life. That's how life is. And I got news for you. It's not. I got news for you. It's not. You can overcome your trauma with the proper help. But you got to be willing to be vulnerable to get the help that you need. Why do you think I'm in therapy? I've been in therapy several times. My first time ever going to therapy, it was marriage counseling in my first marriage. Me and my wife, my ex-wife, we went to therapy in the attempt to save our marriage. This is my opinion on how things went down. I'm sure if you knew my ex-wife, you asked her, she'll probably tell you something different. But this is my perception of how things went down. We had a rough go at it, man. She ain't a bad person. She gave me 3 beautiful kids. But we had a tough 18 years. It was a very tough 18 years. But we went to counseling to try to save the marriage. Unfortunately, the counseling didn't save our marriage. But I discovered a lot about myself through counseling. That's the real reason why I'm a big proponent of therapy and of counseling, because I discovered who I was as a man through therapy and through counseling. I discovered I was a passionate guy. You know, I was raised old school. I was raised in the church. My daddy real quiet, but man, he hard nigga, man, old school cat. That nigga don't cry. He don't show no emotions. He just tell you, man, this is what men do. And he ain't no macho dude, but when he talk, he hold a lot of weight. He don't walk around with a chest poked out. He just say what he mean what he say. He a man of few words. I seen my daddy cry. I count on one hand how many times I seen him cry. I seen him cry when his daddy died, my grandfather died. That was the first time I ever seen him cry. I seen him cry when his mother died. I seen him cry when my sister got married, his oldest daughter. And I mean, I've seen him cry one other time. And my daddy, I'm 49, he's 79. 4 times I see him cry my whole life. Tough dude, man. He don't play like that. Nothing don't phase him. Very little phase him. And my mama, Shirley got a mouth on her. She gonna talk that shit. She give my daddy run for his money. But he don't bat an eye. He say what he mean what he say. And she falls in line. She might buck a little bit, but my daddy stand on business. He stand on business. She'll pout, talk her noise. She fall right in line. And I was raised by a man like that. And then the men around the church, same thing. Old hard school ass niggas, man. Old school hard niggas, man. Like, they wasn't with that shit. Women made to be barefoot and pregnant. I learned from niggas like that. I don't subscribe to that shit, but that's what I learned. That's what I came up on. So, in the beginning, I'm trying to emulate that bullshit. There's pros and cons of everything, so I don't want to just down it and dismiss it, but I don't rock like that. But that's what I learned. That's what I came up under. So, I had to learn over time that ain't always the right way. That kind of way is case by case. But yeah, man, I learned like that. So she stayed mad with me. But over time, I rediscovered how our relationship dynamic was, and I changed a lot of that shit. But you know, over the course of time, man, I probably was just too little, too late. She had enough of my shit, I guess. I don't know. But you know, I discovered I was a passionate dude. I didn't have to be so goddamn hard and mean all the damn time. I also discovered I was a sensitive ass nigga. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Ain't nothing wrong with a man being in tune with his emotions. There's nothing wrong with a man being in tune with his emotions. Because guess what, fellas? You got feelings, nigga. You got feelings, playboy. And they get hurt sometimes. They get hurt sometimes. And it's okay to voice that. If your spouse hurt your feelings, it's okay to say, man, you hurt my goddamn feelings, you tripping. It's okay to say that. You ain't no simp. If your feelings get hurt, it's all how you handle it. It's all how you handle it. If you gonna whine and cry and piss on yourself, that's something totally different. But it's okay to be in tune with your emotions, man. You ain't gay. You ain't no simp. You ain't no chump. That's that bullshit them super macho niggas want you to think. But it's okay to be sensitive. Don't let the problem with having emotions as men is knowing how to control your damn emotions. Don't let your emotions control you. That's the problem. But being in tune with yourself, ain't nothing wrong with that. Just don't let your emotions control you. But guess what? That's probably the second most reason why relationships fail. Because most of us let our emotions control us. And we don't use logic for shit. We use matters of the heart to dictate what we're going to do in a relationship. Instead of using matters of fact. Your heart will, every time, make a fool out you. You see the red flags. You see shit ain't right. You see the writing on the wall, but you so in love, and you believe if I give them one more chance, they may turn around. And guess what? 9 times out of 10, they don't. Guess what that was? Your heart making a fucking fool out you again. Stop using your heart and use your mind. Don't let the matters of the heart dictate your relationship. Let the matters of fact dictate your relationship. But back to the trauma. So if your mindset for the rest of your life is shaped by the time you're 8 years old, and then you're going around for the rest of your life growing into adolescence, teenage, then young adulthood, then full adulthood, but your mind is shaped and your character is shaped by the time you're 8, you know how tough that is? That could be? When you've been mistreated and used and abused and manipulated and taken advantage of as a child, that got to be tough. You got mama issues. Mama dogging you out. She abandoning you. She mistreating you. She taking all your money. She using and abusing you. You got the daddy doing the same thing. A lot of men work a lot. I'm talking about men that's in the house with their kids. They work a lot. I'm an over-the-road truck driver. My ex-wife was really a single mama. And we were married together. But I was gone 2 and 3 weeks at a time. So guess what? She had to be a single mama while she was married. That's worse than being a single mama by yourself. So think about this shit. So them kids, they still got one parent most of the time. Because the daddy working 10, 12, 14 hours a day. He come home, he trying to get a little bit of rest to go do that shit all over again. The children want to play, hug, and love on you, but you so tired, you just shutting up. I'm tired, leave me alone. I'm tired, leave me alone. They ain't got no daddy now. The balance still ain't there. So all they feel is rejection. All they feel is rejection. And the mama's so frustrated. She tired of what because she got to do what the husband's supposed to do, what the man's supposed to do, and what she's supposed to do. Now she fussing and yelling at the kids. These kids feel abandoned. They feel the rejection from that. And they begin to think that shit normal. Trauma. And this is mild trauma. I'm not talking about that goddamn dirty old man, your uncle or your cousin, who fucking filthy, and he see you vulnerable and take advantage of you. Now you done got molested. Now you done got sodomized. Now you done got mistreated in the worst way possible. You gotta carry this shit with no help for the rest of your life. That's trauma. But now you gotta try to be an adult with this shit on you. And you meet a person that you really like, but everybody you trusted took advantage of you as a kid. How easy is it going to be for you to trust this person? It ain't going to be that easy. It's not going to be that easy. It's unfortunate that people hurt you before the man of your dreams or the woman of your dreams came into your life. But that's what shaped them. And if you really love them like you say you do, or you really care for them like you say you do, you got to put that time, you got to be patient with them. I'm talking to myself right now. You got to be patient with them and give them time to evolve. But they have to be willing to get the help they need to want to be their better self. I've experienced trauma that I know of twice in my life. That I can remember, that I know vividly of. The first time, it wasn't that bad, but it shaped how I view women. It shaped how I treat women. I was about 14 years old. I was 14. Won't bother nobody. Just a kid in the neighborhood, man. Real quick story, man. It probably don't mean shit to a lot of people, but it messed me up. It shaped how I not viewed women, but how I dealt with women. So this beautiful girl, man. I don't remember her name. I think her name was Tamika. Me and her cousin was good friends. We went to school together. She was older than me. So I'm 14. She probably was about 17. Beautiful girl, man. Long hair down her back. All hers, no weave, no nothing. Red bone, beautiful smile. Man, she coat by the fine. It wasn't no crazy shit going on, no BBL, no. Man, girl was just natural, bad. I'm 14. I seen her, but I wouldn't dare say nothing to her. Man, I was speechless by how pretty she was. But guess what, y'all? She stepped to me. She told me she liked me. She wanted to talk to me. You see how quiet I am? That's how it was with her. Didn't say shit. Was scared to death. So I would go over there every day after school and just sit and watch TV. Was nervous. I was just afraid of her. She was so goddamn pretty. So she had enough of that shit. So after about a week or two of that, she sat me down and said, "Look, Aaron, it's not that you're a nice guy. And it's not that I don't like you, but I just don't like you. And we can't see each other no more." And that shit crushed me. That shit crushed me. You would have thought somebody died in my motherfucking family the way I was walking around school all moping and shit. That shit broke my little heart. That shit broke my little heart. I can remember my homeboy say, "Boy, what's wrong with you, man? You all right?" I said, "Come straight, I'm good." "No, you don't look right, man. You look sad as hell. What's wrong with you, bro?" I said, no, I'm good. Whole time, heart just aching because she broke out with me. I mean, I ain't kissed the girl, I ain't smelled the panties, nothing. I was just happy that this pretty girl thought enough of me to say she liked me, thought I was cute. I was good with that. But not knowing she 3 years older than me. She in high school, I'm in junior high. Man, she got the #1 receiver on the football team. That's her boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? Like, she got them niggas out there, them boys. She had them dudes, like, fighting for her time. But she wanted to give me a shot. I couldn't keep up. I was young and shy, man. But that thing crushed me so bad, I would never give a woman from that day on a long time to, like, hurt me. If I see any inkling of she ain't interested, I'm gone. I'm skating. I keep my shoes half tied up at all times. Anything go left, I'm sliding in, I'm gone. I'm getting up out of there. So I never gave many women a real opportunity because of that. Because of that. Until I met my wife, my first wife. And that was my longest. I've never been in a relationship until I got married longer than a year. You get a year, man, shit, I'm gone. I'm gone. I can count on one hand how many relationships I've been in that lasted a year alone. Skating, boy. Skating. It was all because of that 14-year-old incident when I was 14 years old with Tamika. Man, that thing messed me up. But, man, through prayer, I discovered why I am the way that I am. And I was able to look back at it, and hopefully I've changed for the better. It remains to be seen. I'm gonna be honest with you. And then my fiance that passed away. That was a trauma like no other. I've never went through anything like that before in my life. So losing somebody you love, man, like losing somebody you love, you think you're gonna be with forever, and then they all of a sudden just disappear and they gone forever, and you can't get them back, and they were supposed to be gone. Shit, that was devastation. Devastation. I ain't never experienced pain like that in my life. Never. My divorce wasn't that painful. I ain't never experienced pain like that in my life. But to go through that, man, that shit tough. That shit tough. But trauma can change you for the good, and it can change you for the bad. That 14-year-old trauma, whew, when I was 14 years old, that made me kind of a negative person, bad person. I ain't giving nobody a real shot. I won't let women get really close. I won't let women get close to me. Women who like me, I wouldn't take advantage of them, like use them, or, but I would never commit. I had commitment issues because of that. Because I just thought at some point they're gonna say something about me they ain't like. They're gonna get on. So I would beat them to the punch, and it wasn't the case. But I would never give them an opportunity because of that. Me losing NJ, as devastating as that was, and that it is, I didn't lose hope in love. I wanted to love better because she loved me how she loved me. But I had to refine myself because when she died, part of me died with her, and I lost a lot. I became a shell of myself. And I had to rediscover who I am. I had to rediscover who I was and who I am as a man. That was a process. It was a very hurtful process. And I caused a lot of damage rediscovering who I was and who I am as a man in that process. But that trauma made me want to love harder and better. I didn't use it as a negative. I tried to use it as a positive. Did I cause some damage? I did. I may be still calling them, I don't know. But I want to love better because she left a great example in my life when it comes to love and when it comes to relationship. So I want to love better because of her. But yeah, that trauma but I didn't mean to jump around, but I didn't discover these things until I started going to therapy. That's why I'm saying therapy is so important. I didn't discover these things about myself until I started going to therapy. So this is why I'm such a big proponent of therapy. So we can deal with the trauma that plagues us, knowingly or unbeknownst to us, it's there. That's the underlying cause, in my opinion, of a lot of our relationships not making it. A lot of our relationships failing. So I think we all should. And let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you feeling what I'm saying, you agree, disagree, don't matter. Let me know what you think in the comments. But I think we all should do self-assessments of ourselves in every relationship, so we can look at what we need to improve on, what we need to change, and what we need to overcome. Because if you got a person that you feel is good for you, it's worth it to them and to yourself to try to become the best version of yourself for that individual. I know we're going to say, but what about them? Them is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is watch out for red flags. And when you see red flags, don't overlook them. Don't sweep them under the rug. See the red flag, call time out. Y'all talk about it. Because at the end of the day, if the relationship don't work, it won't be on you because you did everything you know to do was right. You did everything you know to do that was right. And you can hold your head high if the relationship didn't work. Because it wasn't on you. You self-analyze, you self-assess, you got the help you need. And you tried to get them to do the same. And if for whatever reason they didn't, you don't have nothing to feel bad about. You don't have anything to feel bad about. But we can overcome this trauma, guys, if we do the work. And it's easier said than done. It's easier said than done. So I'm not sitting in my truck tonight telling you, oh, this shit easy, because it ain't. But guess what? Anything that's ever been worth having has never been easy to achieve. This ain't no different. But if you want to become the best version of yourself possible, you have to self-assess. And you have to get the help you need through therapy and through counseling. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself to do this. And if you don't, you're doing yourself and your potential partner or your current partner a disservice. And that goes for your kids too. You're doing your kids a great disservice too. So let's think about it from that angle. And challenge yourself to see if there's any underlying trauma that could be stalling or hindering your relationship or your ability to have a relationship with a significant other. I mean, that's my time for the day. We're going to call it quits right there. It's been another great episode of My Perspective Podcast. But do me a favor, please, man. Y'all like, share, subscribe, and comment to the channel. Let's grow this thing like a fat lady on my 600-pound life. I'm out of here. Love y'all. Peace.